This is an instructional video for using the Print Merge feature in CorelDraw. This can be useful for things like inserting names and numbers on team t-shirts. In my case, I'm using it to insert names into a mug project. The first thing you need is a file with all of your variables. The variables are going to be the names or numbers that you're using. I'm creating mine in Excel, although it can be done in any program that allows you to save a comma-separated value file, a CSV. I've already set mine up. I've got first name and last name, and then the names inserted down here. Now you'll note that in one case, I've put both the first and the last name into the last name column. I think the first name being too short would look awkward on the mug, so I elected to do it this way. Now you're going to save your file if you're working in Excel. It's going to want to save as an Excel workbook. You're going to select CSV. Excel will then whine that you're not using their format. Ignore them and just say continue. We now have the database file that we're going to use in CorelDraw. I'll switch over to Corel now, where I've already set up my artwork. The easiest way to work in Print Merge is to add the Print Merge toolbar. So you want to right-click on a blank space on the toolbar and select Print Merge. It will give you as much as will fit. The arrows on the end will pop up the rest of it down at the bottom when you need it. First thing I'm going to do is create load Print Merge. That brings me to the Print Merge wizard. And I'm going to import text from a file. Click Next, and it will ask for the file source. Defaults to RTF. I'm going to select CSV and pick Mug Names, which is the file that I saved, and then click Open. We now have the file selected. I'll click Next, and it will automatically insert the fields and field types, and that's all that I'm going to need here. Click Next again. It shows me everything in place. It does give me the option to add new records if I want to. I prefer to do it in Excel, but if I were to have forgotten something or something got added later, I could do it in this location. Click Next. Do I want to save these data settings? I really don't. Click Finish. Okay, so I've now attached the database to the file. I'm going to click over here to get those other options that I mentioned. What I want is field, first name, and I want to insert the Print Merge field. First, I'm going to select my text here, which is where it's going to go. Double click in there so that I'm in edit text mode. Now I'm going to insert Print Merge field. And you can see it comes in right there, first name. I'm going to hit Enter because I'm doing it as 2 lines. Then I'm going to go back to field, select last name, and insert Print Merge field. Same thing. One more return. I have first name, last name, there's a Grodzki Biatch. I am essentially done at this time with the setup. I have earlier centered these two on each other, but if you hadn't centered your artwork, or if you want to see how it centers with the additional names, select those two, hit E, and it'll line them up. Let's just drag this one up here. Okay, so we select that, hit E, and we now have these two centered on each other on the page. My page size here is set to be a wrap for an 11-ounce mug. This is 4 inches by 9.375 inches. From here, the next thing I want to do, go back to my print merge, and now I want to perform the print merge. It's going to take a second while it processes all of the names. If anyone's wondering, I am working on a Mac running Parallels with Windows 7 and CorelDraw 8. X8. We're going to give it a minute here to finish processing, and here we go. Okay, so we now have a single instance of the file here, and this is showing the first record. I'm going to go over to prepress and uncheck mirror, just because it'll make it easier for us to read it while we're working. Going back to general now, I'm going to go to preferences. Now I already have all of my page preferences set up for the various page types that I do. In this case, I'm working on a 13 by 19, which is Super B, landscape, borderless. All my other settings are set up here. I click OK. We now have a 13 by 19 page. We still have only a single instance of the page here. So what we want to do next is what's called an imposition layout. Now in my case, I've already set up a print style for the imposition layout, which is a 13 by 19 6-up. I'm going to click on that. We're going to go back to prepress and uncheck mirror because that's how it's set up in there. The different things you want to look at here. So when you're setting this up, in layout, you go to imposition layout, and in my case, I can fit 6 on a 13 by 19 page, and I come in here and select 2 by 3, 6-up. That gives us 6 instances of the page fit on here. Back under General, I want to select Current Document, and that will run through every single instance. If it were set to Current Page, if you can see it here, it's repeating just the first record. So you want to be on Current Document. Just to make this a little more visible, we're going to go to Print Preview. And here you can see this is what we have. We've got repeating the page and the name being inserted as it was set in our record. You have signature 1 is the first 6, signature 2 is the next 6, signature 3. Because there were only 22, when we get here, there were only 4 on the last page. I'm going to cancel out of Print Preview now. Now this is going to take a minute. One of the advantages of doing this, apart from the obvious speed factor of not having to enter in each name, is that if I have to make an edit to the file, I only have to change the artwork once. So if something doesn't look right, something doesn't center right, the client decides they want a different color, I only have to change the master file, and then everything else will just flow back into it. So you're only changing it in one instance. What I'm going to do here is go back to prepress and go back to the mirror image. And that's it. We're done. When we hit print, it will print 4 pages, 22 instances of the original page with each name inserted correctly. Thanks for watching. If nothing else, this video has given me a great deal of respect for people who make videos harder than it looks. If there's anything I went by too fast, or wasn't clear, please feel free to post a question.